Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I have a small project to do today. I have this wood splitter uh, thing. If you're not familiar with what these are, this is a blade that is fixed in this ring in this stand, and you split wood by placing it on top of the blade and then hammering it down. I got this to put in the house because I didn't want an axe laying around. And this is something that is less likely to injure children when they're running around playing because it's a lot harder to fall onto the blade. You can't pick it up and hit somebody with the blade. My kids know that tools are dangerous, and it's not that I don't trust them. It's just that 5-year-olds are impulsive. The problem with this is that the base is just these two metal feet. I just want this to sit in the house, but I don't want these metal feet sitting directly on the floor because I don't want them damaging the floor. So I'd like to make a base for this to bolt onto that's less likely to damage the floor and is a little bit of weight to keep this from tipping over or moving around. I have this piece of 1/2-inch plywood that was stuck up in the rafters of the garage. So my plan is to cut some circles out of this plywood, a little bigger than the legs, maybe 3 or 4 circles, glue them all together. To cut these circles, I'm going to use my router, and I have this 3x3 Customs 6-in-1 router jig. The base of this is just a hair over 8 inches wide, so if I made my circles a foot wide, I could get enough circles out of this. My router jig set up. This jig is really easy to put together for cutting a circle. Just put this plate on the bottom. There's a pin. You can put that pin out here. You can put it on this one so you can cut very small circles, larger circles, or there's arms that mount on here to cut really big circles. You can do pretty much anything you'll need to do with the router with the pieces that come in this jig. So it's very cool. I've got my center hole drilled, got my jig set up, ready to cut. Some of you smart people may have noticed a problem I figured out about halfway through, and that is that I put this over the edge of the table so I didn't cut into my table, and I was quite proud of myself, except for the fact that when I cut all the way through this, there's going to be nothing holding this up, and that's not going to work because then I'm just going to drop everything. So let me move this over the work table, up on some blocks or something, and then we'll cut it all the way through. There's one circle cut. So that was probably a lesson in how not to use a router. And if you're wondering why I was using this hand crank, like egg beater type hand drill for drilling holes, it's because my power drill is in the house and I didn't feel like walking all the way over there to get it. I mean, it's like 20 feet. And because I have this in the garage, and what's the point of having really cool old tools if you never use them? And let's glue these up. I'm going to glue them with those drilled holes in the center. I didn't drill all the way through, except for one of these I accidentally did. So that way I'd have a flat surface on the top and bottom. Use my glue applicator brush here. Do this one. take this inside, let it dry, and we'll finish it up later on.
A few moments later.
There's a deer standing outside staring at me through the garage window. And they look super annoyed that I'm in here sanding things. Guess they're not a fan of sanders. There's one spot where the plywood is delaminating here. That's not where I glued two pieces together. That's this piece is splitting in half. I don't know what I expected for plywood that I found stuck in the rafters of the garage. So now I'm going to take some sawdust and some glue, fill these small holes, get those patched up, and I'm going to put glue down in this crack, clamp this all up on this side to make sure that holds together.
The next day.
I've got this thing all centered up on here, or as close to center as it's going to get. So I'll just mark these holes and we will drill for some bolts. I'm going to drill some 1-inch holes in the bottom. I can put some of these big fender washers in just to keep anything from tearing out. I decide what finish I should put on here. Should I use tung oil or Danish oil or painted, or it's just a base for a wood splitter. It doesn't have to be fancy. I decided to put some butcher block conditioner on it. This is food safe, and since this is sitting on the floor in the house, just in case the kids lick it or the cat or the dog are rubbing up against it, who knows what kids and cats and dogs are going to do. Wipe some of this on, bolt the splitter on, and we'll be done. We'll press them up through. Let me just check and make sure I drilled those holes deep enough. No. This is clearly not a how-to video. It'd be really ironic if none of these holes lined up, huh? There is the kindling splitter. So how this works, just take our piece of wood, put it on top of the blade, take a hammer or a mallet, and you can split your wood. No sharp edges, nothing to fall on, nothing to hit, nothing to get cut on. You can safely just leave this set in the house by the fireplace. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time.